Thank you, Ivan and Anna. Welcome to WA Tonight. I'm Kristian Dwyer. It's a momentous occasion when a monarch comes to town, as evidenced by the royal attendance at the Melbourne Cup. But it can be equally as feverish when someone of political fame enters the fray. This week, Hilary Clinton, the US Secretary of State and former first wife of President Bill Clinton, has touched down on Australian soil.
In what is expected to be a whirlwind stay, the Secretary of State arrived in Perth for the AUSMIN meetings, that is the annual Australia-United States ministerial meetings. Met by Federal Foreign Minister Bob Carr, Defence Minister Stephen Smith, Ambassador to the US Kim Beazley and WA Premier Colin Barnett, Clinton was then moved through in a motorcade that contained 3 buses and 11 cars. Clinton is also set to meet with Julia Gillard, and before a packed crowd has already stated that the US's influence in the Asian region is set to stay. High on the agenda will be the rotation of troops through Darwin and other Northern American bases, as the US Politico faces budget cuts in Australia to the country's defence operations overseas. We'll have more on this story as we know it.
We now turn our attention to the video game juggernaut that is currently on its way just in time for the Christmas season. But what is just going to be the big seller, and what's going to bomb out? Patryk Lazarz has more.
Parents, have your wallets at the ready, because if you haven't already, you'll be shelling out some big dollars on the biggest games in the history of the industry, which soon will be hitting our shores. But what is the difference between Master Chief and Master Assassin? What's a COD, and why are these games so popular? The simple answer is this: Halo 4, Assassin's Creed 3, and Call of Duty Black Ops 2. These are the flagship titles of companies such as 343 Studios, Ubisoft and Activision respectively. Not to mention the fact they are all sequels building on an existing market base. Well, let's begin with Halo 4. Many believe that after 5 existing games, Microsoft was more than happy to leave the original trilogy as it was. That was before 343 Studios came along, and brought with it a new angle, dubbed the Reclaimer trilogy. And if you're a fan of the original games, then you'll love this. Although the story differs as you take on the mysterious Forerunners on a planet called Requiem, it's still the familiar shoot 'em up. Then there's Assassin's Creed 3, where the player once again takes control of an assassin in the efforts of learning more about the mysterious Templars and their plans to end the world as we know it. The playstyle is that which you have come to expect from the series, but this round you play Connor Kenway, Indian-American protagonist in the original American Civil War. Finally, you've got Call of Duty Black Ops 2, the next behemoth in the Treyarch's line of Call of Duty games. Treyarch being the former developer of COD titles such as World at War and the original Black Ops. This may be arguably their finest to date, let alone their biggest in terms of hype. So, make sure you make the right decisions come Christmas. And if these games interest you, perhaps you too can get in on the fun with relatives and friends, who Santa brings the right gift. Patryk Lazarz, WA Tonight.
Thanks for that, Patryk. It's that time where we take a look at what's making headlines in Perth and Hong Kong, and we now cross to the evening news desk with Ivan Leong.
Thanks very much indeed, Kristian. Making news on DHK Tonight, US Secretary of State Hilary Clinton has arrived in Perth. During her visit, she has met with Prime Minister Julia Gillard and the Premier Colin Barnett. A television advertisement campaign highlighting the harms of alcohol towards children's brain development is launched. In Hong Kong, the Communications Authority has received around 2,000 complaints towards ATV's live protest gig. The program was standing against the authorities' plan to issue another free-to-air TV license. And the Secretary of Development, Paul Chen, said the government will look into whether or not it's appropriate to build public housing on lands that are allocated for sale. If you missed the evening news, you can click on the link below and watch it again. Here's Kristian.
Thank you, Ivan. If you're a fanatical football fan, away trips might not be that far off the norm for you. It's all part of a new age of active support in Australia, and as airfares go down and wages go up, more and more fans are doing as they do in Europe and supporting their teams at the opposition's fiery home ground. For a group of fans, however, this experience was soured by an opportunistic snatch of their supporter group banner by rival group A13 in Adelaide. Timothy Seow has more.
Soccer, or football as it's been known officially since 2005, has came on leaps and bounds since the beginning of the Hyundai A-League. It's led to the development of passionate supporter groups who love the team so much they travel interstate and even as far as overseas. But in more recent years, there's also been a surge in support of ultras, that is, supporters who take their support to the next level. It's a culture that has stemmed from Europe, and activities such as ripping flags and banner stealing have become commonplace. One such event happened this weekend when 20 supporters of the Adelaide United ultra group A13 stole the banner of casual group Glory Fans United, a group not known for ultra antics, more so for their club-changing passionate support of the Perth Glory Football Club. Now this may be commonplace in Terrace Culture, but eyewitness reports say that the 20 or so A13 supporters stole the banner of only 4 of the Glory supporters. This behavior was then repeated when an innocent Glory fan with no connection to Glory Fans United had his jacket stolen allegedly by the same group. What's all this for? So the thieving group and display the banner aloft of the stolen banner, which is generally turned upside down. This question must be asked. Is this Europe? Whilst a passionate culture is a benefit, for 4 fans who travelled south of the border, having driven for 2 days and just wanted to show the support, it wasn't. And when you're faced with a threat to your own physical safety, just to protect something you put your own hard work into, perhaps that's just not on. Timothy Seow, WA Tonight.
Thank you, Timothy. What thoughts have you got on the matter? Let us know on our Facebook page. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for. On behalf of myself and the rest of the DHK News team, stay safe, Western Australia. Good night.